What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for AEW SmackDown and AEW Double or Nothing predictions for May the 29th, 2020, as we are heading into Double or Nothing. And of course, SmackDown is heading towards Hell in a Cell, with nothing really happening for Hell in a Cell this week for that. We did have the return of the Usos having a match together for the first time since before WrestleMania last year. We had Kevin Owens taking on Apollo Crews. And in the main event, the tag team titles were on the line. And how pathetic WWE is at their booking. So we started the show off with the Usos backstage. They're getting hyped. They're in Roman's locker room. Roman Reigns walks up and they calm down. Well, Jay's not getting hyped up at all. It was all Jimmy. Jimmy is just so excited. He's so pumped to finally, after a year plus, being back with his brother in a match. Roman just wants to know, what's the game plan? What's the end game? Jay says the plan is to win. This is how they're going to make the family proud. Jimmy goes on and says he can't wait to be on. And Reigns says Jimmy has got it all figured out, huh? He's happy for Jimmy. Wishes them luck. Jimmy walks off and tells his brother, let's go. Reigns says Jimmy is going to need it. Jay continues looking worried about something. Reigns asks Jay what's wrong, and Jimmy speaks for him now. Jay looks in deep thought. Jay says even though he's with Jimmy tonight, Reigns knows he's with him also. I'm with you. I'm with you. Reigns says maybe Jay should tell Jimmy that, and worried Jay walks off. So we go to the Thunderdome, and we have our first match: the Street Profits versus the Usos. The Street Profits come out. Montez Ford and Nando Dawkins, the Red Solo Cups raining down on the stage. Cole and McAfee hype up tonight's show, which will include Rey Mysterio and Dominic, in quotation marks, defending their tag team titles. We'll get to that later. Ford and Dawkins cut a promo on the Usos, just cracking jokes on the Usos, the family, and all that. Just how everything doesn't seem to be what you think it is with these guys, and it's just out come the Usos, and you can just tell that they hit a chord with both of these guys. Jimmy and them, they remind them who they are, who they are as a tag team, what they've done as tag team champions. And Jay says, if you say one more thing about my cousin Roman, I'm gonna drop you where you stand. Which, yeah, that could do it for you, for sure. So we get this match, and this was fantastic. This was a great way to start off off SmackDown in this night of 2 episodes of wrestling back to back. This was great. 2 of the best tag teams in WWE, just going out there, kicking ass, taking names, showing you that they are just badass and everything into it. It was just like and then the biggest question going in this match was like, with the way they're teasing this, is like, where are we gonna get the turn tonight? Will Jimmy turn on Jay tonight? Or Jay turn on Jimmy, I'm sorry. They did not do that, thankfully. They did not do that. And you're wondering also, is because it's been a year plus, and I know, yes, they're brothers and everything, but it's been a year plus since Jimmy and Jay have had a match together as a tag team. Would there be any rust? Would there be any missteps? No, not at all. These guys were just in sync. Like, it seemed like Jay was not happy about being a part of this until the Street Profits opened their mouths. Then you pissed off the Usos. They went out there. Both of these 2 teams went out there, kicked each other's asses day and night, back and forth, up and down, left and right. Holy shit, they beat the shit out of each other. And it ended with Dawkins with the spine bust and Ford tags in, delivers the top rope frog splash, but Jay pulls Jimmy out of the way for safety. Dawkins drops Jay from the outside onto the floor with a big shoulder attacker. Jimmy super kicks Ford straight in the face. 1, 2, 3. They get the win. So the Usos back winning again, as they should. Hell of a match. I'm still waiting for that turn to come, and it's going to come very, very soon. it would not surprise me if Jay turns on Jimmy next week. Why would I say next week? Well, they go backstage. They go to Adam Pearce, and Jimmy talks the whole time. Jimmy talks the whole time, and he pretty much just wants a tag team match for next week. He's like, you know what? We showed you what we can do. Nobody can when we're on the same page, nobody can stop us. Nobody can stop us. And nobody should doubt us either. So next week, how about the winner of the tag team championships we get them next week? Adam Pearce agrees. Jamie leaves. You can just see this look in Jay's face. As soon as Jay looks all for it until Jimmy leaves, and then his demeanor changes, and he's like, man, I know Roman's not going to be happy about this. But backstage, Megan Rand is with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They talk about tonight's rematch with SmackDown Tag Team titles and say they're going back to the drawing board. Tonight will be different because they are pros, and they do what they want, and once again become the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And then we go from a really awesome tag team match to Tamina and Natalya versus the Riot Squad. If I could tell you I paid any attention to this match outside of listening to it in my ears, I'd be lying to you because I did not care about this match at all. Tamina, Natalya win. Superfly, terrible, ugly looking Superfly splash from Tamina, and that was that. SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair then took on Carmella. Before the match even started, Bayley came out over the barricade to bug Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. So she came out to be on commentary. These two had a match. This match was boring as shit. Nobody cares about Carmella. I don't care if she was a two-time women's tag team women's champion, or a two-time Money in the Bank briefcase holder, or won the Money in the Bank briefcase twice, even though you know how the first one went. I just didn't care. Carmella with a kick. Carmella blocks his facebuster, drops Carmella on her face with the KOD. 1, 2, 3, and that was that. Megan is backstage with Rey Mysterio and Dominic. They have game plan for the night's title defense. They go on about how their motivation is incomparable right now. Dominic says there's no way they will lose tonight, and there's no tag team in the world that can stop them. They embrace, they love each other, and they end the segment. We go to the ring, and out comes Seth freaking Rollins, who is here to be a big pain in the ass. You know how Seth Rollins is. He says he's not out here to talk. He's here to fight. Cesaro, get out here right now so we can end this. We wait for it. Seth is like, then he starts busting up laughing. He's like, oh, that's right. Cesaro got beaten down so badly last week that he is nowhere to be found. Then they show us what happened last week with Cesaro getting beat up, stomped a couple times, and everything. And then Seth Rollins is like, at least he's not here on my birthday, which it is actually Seth Rollins' birthday on the 28th. Happy birthday to Seth Rollins. And he's just here to celebrate and have a good old time. So, yeah. Let's see here. Then he's like, well, I obtained this exclusive. My people looked around and found this exclusive audio from Cesaro's work hospital bed, and then they play this hospital sound, and it's like someone going "Ugh!" with a heart monitor in the background. Stupid shit, and yeah. He says, "Happy birthday to me." Starts singing, he loses the mic, and fake boos get louder. Rollins' music starts up, he makes his exit, and that is that. You want to know something? It's kind of funny, because I watched AEW's show back-to-back with this one. And just the difference from Blunderdome with no crowd and stupid monitors with people just thumbing up and thumbing down or whatever. And then you watch AEW, full crowd capacity at Daly's place, hearing real crowds, real sounds. God, the shows were night and day. Like, you had the Usos versus the Street Profits earlier in the show. Could you imagine if that match happened in front of fans, actual fans? How much better that match would have been? Just like on Monday when Xavier Woods took on Matt Riddle. You know how much better that match would have been? And how more, how much more exciting and, how much more energetic it would have been if you had actual fans? I cannot wait. June has to go by the fastest it has ever been, because I cannot wait till fucking July. So we had Apollo Crews versus Kevin Owens. Now, the match is non-title. Clearly it's non-title. But for whatever reason, they, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, with the finish, tried to make it sound like it was a title match. It just made no sense. The match lasted, from jump, Kevin Owens was all over Apollo Crews. He's unloading on him, drops him in nails a corner cannonball, goes up top, hits a swanton for a 2. Owens and Crews trade suplex attempts while Crews is on the apron. Crews hangs Owens off the top rope and goes down. Crews goes to the top, but Owens attacks, sending Crews to the mat. Crews has to roll through from the top, and Owens super kicks him. He blocks a pop-up powerbomb, but Owens continues the quick, aggressive offense and hits a stunner. Goes for the pin. Commander Aziz runs halfway across the ring, hits the Nigerian nail while he's pinning, and the referee calls for the bell. Over that quick. After the match, Owens is gasping for air while he's down on the mat. His music hits. Crews is announced as still the Intercontinental Champion, which I was wondering, I thought this was a non-title match. Why is the ring announcer announcing, but still, you're Intercontinental Champion, Apollo Crews? That made no sense to me. Choking glass from the air, Crews and Aziz look on from the ramp as the officials check on Kevin Owens. And that was that. Just Owens all over him, and boom, this dude was just, holy shit, just holy fuck, did he, just wow. I couldn't, he was just, boom, all over Apollo Crews, and before you knew it, Nigerian nail, which is the old thumb that, the old Samoan spike that, what the fuck was his name used to do? His name escapes me. So, yeah, that was that. Reigns is backstage with Paul Heyman Heyman introduces, please tell me I have this full thing here. I think they do. This, I can't put in my own words, so let's see what we got here.
So y'all got the match for next week, you and your brother. That's what you want to do? Why'd you tell me that then? Why'd you tell me you was with me? What happened to we? Think about this. Everything that we've been through over these months. All I've ever wanted is the best for you. That's the only thing that's ever mattered to me. It's doing right by you, doing right by our family, and we'll figure it out for your brother, but your main event, Jey Uso now. Think about this. When we go according to my plan, what happens? What do? You blow SmackDown. As soon as your brother comes back, what happens? You relegated to the opening match? I just don't want you to go back to a place where people look at you and say, which one are you again? You never thought about it like that, Uso?
Yeah, see, that I can't ever put Roman's words into it, right? But yes. So, it's coming soon. Where I feel this is going is that, and a lot of people thought because Hell in a Cell got brought up, and they want to get Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso inside Hell in a Cell, so you can have the same thing like Jay had in October of last year. And it doesn't look like that. It looks like that we're going to be going down the road of Jimmy versus Jay, not inside Hell in a Cell, but probably at Hell in a Cell. Eventually, Jimmy will, of course, fall in line. And that's when things start picking up and where everything starts to go. But for now, we'll see where this goes. Then we had Shinsuke Nakamura's personal guitarist, Rick Boogs, come out. He announced Shinsuke Nakamura, introduced him. He starts playing along, which is cool and everything. They head to the ring. McAfee is just going fucking wild at commentary. Which Michael Cole, you just see him. He has his head down, head in his hand, just like, God, I have to suffer through this again this week. Imagine what happens when if this happens during live shows in a month or two, like a month and a half. So, Chad Gable and Shinsuke Nakamura are both really, really good. It's a damn shame that these guys did not get to have a long match. Unfortunately, we had to find time for the women's tag team titles that are absolutely irrelevant. If you take the time that you had away from them, and you take the time away from the Carmella and Bianca Belair match and put it here, you could have given these guys a hell of a match. Giving these guys a chance at a hell of a match. But they didn't do that now, did they? No, we had to go with that. So these guys maybe got 3-4 minutes. Of course, Nakamura gets the win. During the match, though, about halfway through this 5-minute match, Corbin comes down. He goes to the announce desk, grabs his crown, and says, "This is my crown. I earned it. He didn't earn it. This is mine." So Nakamura gets the win. Corbin, who should have been gone already instead of taunting, could have kind of cameraman follow him and taunted Shinsuke Nakamura in the back about getting his crown back, but no. He decided to taunt on the ramp, allowing Rick Boogs to come out, hit him from behind, allowing Nakamura to get the crown again, and we go from there. So they got to do all of that. So we see what happened with Commander Aziz and Kevin Owens. Owens is backstage with the trainer and Anna Pierce. He is gasping for air, but he wants a title shot against Apollo Crews next week. Pierce makes the match. Of course, he wants Aziz banned, and of course, Adam Pierce bans Aziz. So, Apollo Crews, like I said, I hope Apollo Crews enjoys this title reign. I really hope he does. Because I know, and I'm sure everyone else knows, the moment he loses that championship and Aziz turns on him, Apollo Crews will be going back in the catering or main event and never be seen again. So it's great that he's being used right now, but they got no long-term plans for him. As soon as he loses that championship, Apollo Crews goes back to catering. We see Rey Mysterio praying. It looks like Dominic Mysterio walks up and they say a few words to each other. Dominic heads to the ring as we go back to commercial break. And then what do you think happened? We're about to have the main event of SmackDown. The tag team titles are on the line. Rey Mysterio is left by himself. What do you think is going to happen? What did they do last Sunday? Oh, what they did last Sunday is you had Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode attack Dominic, leaving him incapacitated for the bulk of the match. So let's flip it around and have Rey Mysterio take it out. So when we come back from commercial break, Dominic has to check on his dad with a bunch of other people, other guys. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler come down in the ring. They gloat about the fact that if these guys don't come down here at the count of 10, we get the championships. That's a forfeit automatically, so we get the win. Of course, Dominic says, well, he stepped up for me last Sunday. I'm going to step up for him now. And he goes to the ring. And we have a 2-on-1 handicap match for the tag team titles. And Dominic wins by himself thanks to Rey Mysterio's music plays. Like, Dominic's getting his ass kicked. He's getting beat up. He's got no chance to win this thing. Robert Roode goes for something. They go for a double team. Rey Mysterio's music hits. Dominic takes advantage for distracting sliding boots off Roode's shoulders for the roll-up and the pin and the win. Rey slowly walks to the ring selling the attack. He joins Dominic as they stand tall and the title celebrate. Out come the Usos. The two teams of family members face off in the middle of the ring. For next week's title match, we see the Universal Champion Roman Reigns watching backstage with Paul Heyman. The Usos and Mysterios continue facing off and talking in the ring while Rey and Dominic raise their tag titles and SmackDown goes off the air. And I'm thinking to myself, this is way too early for this match. I'm hoping whatever goes down between Jay and Jimmy happens next week. This is a big money match that you do not put on regular television for the fucking hell of it. This needs to be one of those matches when Jimmy and Jay are under Roman Reigns' banner and is going for the tag team titles. This is a SummerSlam match. This could be at Money in the Bank when it's on Father's Day, when you have two like the brothers and the son and father and son going up against each other. Don't waste this match next week. Have something where Jimmy turns on Jay, or Jay turns on Jimmy before the match even happens, costing them the match, costing them whatever, and then you go on from there. This is way too early to have this match actually happen next week. I am sorry. Give me a break. They should be, like, the fact that they're even booking this match already, I think is criminal. But of course, that's how WWE likes to go. Decent show for all. Like I said, the two women's matches really didn't do nothing. They were pointless, in my opinion. Bianca Belair deserves better than Carmella. Carmella is nothing. And of course, just give the Riot Squad the women's tag team titles. Get Tamina off my television, and we move on from there. So, that is all for SmackDown. I'll get into AEW here in a second. And we are here for an AEW portion of this review, and we're also going to have the Double or Nothing predictions after the review. We move over to 10 o'clock. Of course, we had the AEW Friday night show. First of two, because next week's show will also be on Friday night, where for the first time since March of last year, and I'm sure Vince McMahon was paying real close attention to this to see he was too late to get a fucking crowd into his arena, because here we are in Daily's Place. They changed the set back to what it was at Fight for the Fallen in 2019, where the stage where we've seen the talent come off of to get to the ring has been converted back to seats, and they have one stage, one tunnel for them to come out of, and we had ourselves a full crowd. So this is the first live show to have a full crowd. So we started the show off with Darby Allin versus Cesar Bononi and the wingmen known as Ryan Nemeth, Peter Avalon, and JD Drake. Darby Allin had a pop. A huge pop. I think he had one of the biggest pops of the night. I mean, it is a crowd. It was like 6,000, 7,000 fans here tonight. So, yeah, we had a huge crowd. And they were loving this show. It was great. So, oh, that's just great. Hold on here. But yeah, so Darby Allin took on Mr. Cesar Bononi. This match didn't last very long. Darby Allin, of course, won with the coffin drop. Bononi got a few things in, but not much. Post-match, Erling gets the mic and calls out Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. The two stroll out. He wants to finish this tonight. He doesn't want to wait till Sunday. Typical babyface thing. They're in their fancy clothes. They're like, are you kidding me? We have this match on Sunday. We're going to save it for them. Grow up. We out. Then the wingmen attack Darby Allin and Sting, allowing the others to come down. They fight. They beat these guys. Here comes the Dark Order to save the day. And that was that. They did fist bump the Dark Order, Darby Allin and Sting, of course. And that was that. Paul White comes out to host the weigh-in. This was a waste of time. They both Cody came in at 218. Anthony Gogogo came out in 219. And then fucking who allowed QT Marshall to talk? Because this dumbass was like, do you know what happened right now? Do you know what happened? 218, 219. Gogo has the weight advantage. He's got the win in his back pocket. I'm like, dude, who gave you a fucking mic? Because you sound fucking terrible. I don't know who the hell thought that was a good idea. Giving this guy a fucking mic. Holy fuck, is it bad. It was fucking bad. Like, he's like, I'm just telling you what's gonna happen. This guy, like, Anthony Gogo's gonna win. I'm like, dude, shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Like, this, I'm telling you right now. Whatever happens on Sunday, or however long this lasts, this factory thing is going to fail. For the simple fact is, the dude can't handle the mic. The dude cannot handle the chant that. I'm sorry. It's just no. Just gonna say it right there. That's what we have to deal with here. Is that dude should not be allowed anywhere near a mic. Backstage, for whatever reason, Powerhouse Hobbs and Christian Cage are battling back and forth. Cage gets sent into some equipment, then launches Hobbs into a fence. Then he smacks Hobbs in the midsection with some backstage equipment and spears him into boxes. A bunch of people separate the two, and that is that. Then we go to Joey Janela versus Hangman Adam Page. A rematch of All In September. Yes, that's right. In September of 2019, those two had a match, a Chicago street fight, which saw the dude get taken, like Joey Janela lose. I believe it was a Deadeye off the ladder. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that was Deadeye off the ladder. And then afterwards, we had Penis Druids by He Who Shall Not Be Named. That piece of shit. So, they had the match. Was a fairly decent match. The biggest question is, why was Sonny Kiss out there? Why is Sonny Kiss out there with Joey Janela? If anybody doesn't remember, if you didn't watch on Dark this past week, I'm pretty sure it was Dark this week, Joey Janela was in a match. I think it was a match where it was a tag team match. And the dude watched Team Taz beat up Sonny Kiss and left him for dead. Did not even attempt to get into the ring to help Sonny Kiss. And now, apparently, yeah, I just can't even. So, yeah, Joey Janela, Hangman Adam Page. Of course, Joey Janela was not winning this match. Page blasted Erlen with the buckshot towards the end of the match. Gets it for the 1-2-3. Forehead got busted open somewhere near the end of the match. The match ended so fast. Next thing you know, he gets up and you just see puddles of blood all coming down his head. No idea where. Taz, who was on the mic, on the commentary for this match, gets on the mic and calls Brian Cage out. Page comes to the ring. Page jumps on the mic and says, "You know what, Taz, you need to shut up because I already know what's going to happen here. You're going to say something. I'm going to get distracted. Here comes Hook. Here comes all your buddies. They're going to come out here. They're going to jump me." And then Cage gets in the ring and he's like, "Dude, I expected that from Taz, but I expected better from you. Do you really need their help to beat my ass? Like, seriously, do you really need their help to beat my ass? So here's a good idea. How about this Sunday at Double or Nothing, you leave them in the back and you face me 1-on-1. Of course, Taz trying to say something, but Cage is like, you really think I need their help to beat your ass? You really want me just 1-on-1? You really think you can handle that? Well, Fine. One-on-one, me and you, everyone else is going to stay in the back, and we're going to settle, and you're done. You're pretty much done at Double or Nothing. So, there is that. We have ourselves what should be very interesting. Why the FTW title is not on the line is beyond me. I mean, it's a big match. It's a big pay-per-view. Why not put that title on the line? I know it's not a sanctioned match it's not a sanctioned match, but a sanctioned title. I don't care. Put the fucking title on the line. How hard is that? So outside, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley have the Young Bucks sneakers they stole, said it's time to get serious. And we immediately cut to commercial break. And I'm like, what in the literal fuck is going on? Why the fuck would you go to commercial immediately when you have two of the best talkers? Well, apparently, we had the Young Bucks, one of the Young Bucks, whichever one it was, on their social media bio say, we were the ones to tell them to cut to commercial break. Which I can totally see why they want to do that. You know, they are EVPs. Usually the EVPs are doing like stuff like that when they're not in front of the camera. So yeah, that's what you do for AEW and all that. So yeah, then we come back to commercial break, and I hope the hell I can find this thing because this was a funny ad, and I really want you guys to hear it from them, not me. So, no, that's not it. Yeah. So they were out. Well, first they were outside somewhere, and they had the shoes. They had the shoes, and they had a shovel. And I honestly, if they're supposed to be these highly expensive shoes, what are you going to do? You're going to go pawn those motherfuckers, and you're going to go get some money, go get your favorite alcohol, favorite whatever you're going to do, and you spend that money. Ah, here we go. I hope it's annoying.
No, I don't care. I don't even think they can pull these off. They're ugly anyway. Look, we've been having a lot of fun with Rod and Todd Flanders over the last couple of years, but it's time to get serious. The Young Bucks are currently known as the best tag team in the world. And we're not even a real team. We're just a couple of schmucks just thrown together. That's what they think. What makes a great team? What makes a family? I trust this man with my life. When I was living in a motel in Philly, and Eddie kicks in the door and says, yo, we gotta go take care of a couple dudes in Manayunk. You know what I said? Who's driving? Oh man, you really bringing up that story. This man's back in war. And Double or Nothing, it's gonna be a war for the tag team championships. I love belts. I love championships. And those are the most important tag team champions in the world. I want those belts, Eddie. All right, man. I need those belts, Eddie. Nah, man, we are. You may be a better tag team than us. You may be a more well-oiled machine than us. But those belts are a couple of raw T-bone steaks, and we are a couple of pit bulls. What are you gonna do when we clench our teeth and we got lockjaw and we're on your leg? What are you gonna do then? We want those belts. I want those belts.
They're gonna quit. They're gonna quit. You know why they're gonna quit? Because they quit on the people. They quit on the boys in the back. Hey, by the way, boys in the back who are sitting there collecting your paychecks and not doing nothing as the Bucks and Kenny Omega and all them decide to go all corny. Y'all are sitting there all happy and nice. Me and Mox aren't. Because me and Mox speak for the underdogs. We are the ones that are going to get you. We are going to win those tag team championships. And then y'all going to sit there and quit. You won't be part of AEW no more. Maybe I'll be the VP. Imagine that. Maybe Mox will be an EVP.
I don't want that.
You sure?
I'm in and out.
We will see you boys on Sunday. And trust me when I tell you this. The pressure's coming. The pressure's coming.
Two of the absolute best talkers in the game today. And just another fire promo. Eddie Kingston, John Moxley. Two of the best. Well, Tony Schiavone's in the ring. He wants to talk to Orange Cassidy. because last week, or 2 weeks ago, or was it last week, whichever the one, Orange Cassidy was given a contract to parlay his championship match for a later time. But before Orange Cassidy come out, Pac comes out. He tells him to get out. Just get out. He wants to let everyone know that Cassidy is irrelevant. Only Pac will be relevant when he beats Omega. Omega has only been ducking and dodging him while his whole title reign, and it's been pathetic. Calls out Omega. Don Callis gets on the big screen. He calls him Pac a dangerous person. They want nothing to do with him. Of course, Omega tries to sneak from behind, but Pac catches him and hits a hard single leg drop kick. Good Brothers run out to swing away on Pac. The Lucha Bros run out and help make the save for Pac. Good Brothers bail, leaving Kenny still in the ring. Omega looks for the one-winged angel, but out comes Orange Cassidy. He strolls with the best friends and Chris Statlander. Orange goes into the ring with his own and rolls in. He has a note to Kenny, hands it over. Freshly squeezed chant, which has desperately been missing. If one of the two people who have missed a full crowd has been Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy has needed fans back in a bad way. So he hands him this envelope, and it says to Kenny Omega. Opens it up, and it's just the contract in shreds. Cassidy then drops Omega with the orange, goes for the title. Pac stomps on it, and they brawl until Cassidy cracks him with an orange punch. He puts on his shades, he picks up the title, gives his signature thumbs up, and his music plays, and that is that. And it's like, gee, I wonder who's not winning the title on Sunday. We go to Bland Jade Cargill. Goes to talk to Tony Schiavone, but Matt Hardy interrupts. He's trying to give her one last pitch when Mark Sterling jumps in and says he's already been selected by Cargill. He tells Hardy if he keeps bothering her, he's going to have to slap her with a restraining order. He notes his payment style is way different than Hardy, who only gets paid if she wins. Hardy is not happy about this, and he storms off. So we go to the blandest of the bland, Jade Cargill with Mark Sterling versus Kylie King. And this is probably the most competitive match that Jade Cargill has had. But did you really think they were going to have Jade Cargill lose? I want to know the mindset that Cody, Tony, and Kenny and whoever else is booking these matches, what their mindset is to pushing this woman who, this is her 5th match. She hasn't shown anything special. She's been average at best. And I'm supposed to sit there and be okay with them pushing her over the likes of a Kylie King, the likes of a Red Velvet, who have been here longer and have been busting their ass and giving us good matches. I just don't know. But of course, Jade Cargill wins in whatever else. Backstage, Jake Roberts says Dante Martin will be a great champion if he can actually win the title, but Lance Archer cuts him off. He doesn't want Martin. He wants Miro, because Miro has been pissing him off. Why? I don't fucking know. Miro versus Dante Martin, AEW TNT Championship. Darby Allin loses the championship, and the title has already been regulated to 3rd on the card. 3rd, next to last on the card. Just saying. Or next, middle of the card. So, Miro comes out, and he just gets the biggest Miro's gonna kill you. Holy shit, he's just there, eyes closed, waving his head back and forth as the crowd chants, Miro's gonna kill you. Big time squash match. Dante Martin gets some moves, and he does do a big shotgun drop kick off the top rope, which was fucking beautiful. But of course, Miro with the big game over, which the crowd goes crazy for, with they chant game over. After the match, Jake Roberts and Lance Archer head to the ramp. Roberts says Archer is focused and ready for the champion. He says on Sunday, Miro's fairy tale comes to an end. He tells Miro to shut the fuck up. Miro gets on the mic and says Robert needs to shut up and stop holding Archer back. Roberts says Archer, sick him. Archer runs out and nearly hits a choke slam on him. Gets a punch and a kick, then sends Miro to the floor. A bunch of referees get in the way to separate them two. Roberts cackles in the background. This is going to be a hoss fight. This is going to be a battle that everybody's going to care, that everybody's going to want to see. And hopefully we have ourselves a hell of a TNT Championship match. but we'll talk in a bit who I think is actually going to win. Tony Schiavone introduces the AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida to honor her for her year-plus long title reign. As we know, last year, Double or Nothing, Hikaru Shida won the AEW Women's World Championship and has held it ever since. Now, honestly, I think if the pandemic never happened, if none of this shit ever happened, she would have lost this title a long time ago. I think she would have lost this somewhere around full year last year, maybe. I don't think they would have a 371-day title reign, which is the longest reign in all of AEW. TNT, World Heavyweight, Tag Team, this is the longest reign in all of AEW, and it's probably not going to be touched for a very, very long time. And it shouldn't be. Shida was just the right person at the right time, forever. So, they bring her out, and they grant her this new AEW Women's World Championship that is got more gold on it. It's actually bigger than the current AEW Women's World Championship. I don't know if it's going to be the actual one, but it's like they put it around her waist, but they never took the other championship away from her. So I don't know if it's just for her to keep for being a champion for over a year, or if it's the actual we'll find out on Sunday if it's the actual AEW Women's Championship or not. So, she gets the mic, she wants to celebrate and thank all the fans, when out comes the faker, Britt Baker, to ruin everyone's fun. Says that when she wins the championship on Sunday, we will be in a new era, and compares this to Austin 316. What a slap in the face to an actual era that actually mattered. Even if she wins on Sunday, she's not going to hold the title for more than maybe a month. Or not. She's not going to hold it for 371 days, I'll tell you that right now. Which, again, if the faker wins on Sunday, which we'll talk about that here in a minute, it's going to do irreparable damages to the women's division. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky versus Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. This was your main event match, as we had the Inner Circle thing here in a bit afterwards. This was nothing special. Uno, Grayson, just, yeah. So, I had a problem with this match is because you had Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky getting beat easily by Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. And then out of the blue, they just make a big, huge comeback, and the Ego's Edge for the 1, 2, 3 out of nowhere. AEW loves to do this. They did this with like almost every Darby Allin title match except for this JD Drake match. He would be getting his ass kicked from start to finish, and then boom, out of nowhere, he wins. Why? What the fuck? So, yeah. There is that. And then we got to the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle thing for them. In which Eric Bischoff, the MC of this show, of this thing, Eric Bischoff. And everyone got to have some words. I hope this is all of it.
Faction of my own, I was very hesitant because I don't play well with others. And then I met these guys, and it just felt right. The first time I saw a picture of us, I thought, wow, these are some badass looking motherfuckers.
Shut your mouth, Chris.
I felt like Moses in 1987, in the way that we looked and the way that we thought. We didn't give a damn about anybody or anything except for each other and putting on the best performances we could do night after night after night. And that hasn't changed. At Stadium Stampede, we are going to do it again. It will be a war. It will be a battle. And if something goes wrong, and if we lose, we are going down in a blaze of glory. But if this is the last time we're ever in the ring together, I just want to say one thing to these guys. I love you. Of
course, that wasn't the whole thing, but yeah, they had some words. And And they all make it seem like they're going to lose on Sunday. It's just like, with everything that they said tonight, it's like, if this team actually wins, I'd be shocked, but we'll get more on that in a second. MJF gets on the Titantron and is like, man, that was beautiful, Chris. That was just so beautiful. I'm hyped for Sunday. War Dog, you hyped? What about you, Dean? Camera pans down. Dean Malenko against the goalpost. So he says, you guys better get out here, or he's going to be, the Iceman's going to be extra cold. So the Inner Circle runs their way out to the field. Of course, Pinnacle attacks them from, blindsides them, beats them up, takes them into the field. Proud and Powerful get stereo power drivers into a set of tables, while everyone else gets power bombed or drilled down with everyone else. And that's how the show went off the air. As MJF says, when you're in the Pinnacle, you're always on top. So that was the end of this show. It felt so great, and it's just so much more glaring when you're watching SmackDown. When you watch SmackDown in the controlled Blunderdome, and the crowd's controlled, everything's controlled, it's like, why? Why would I care about this? And then you go to this show, and the crowd's alive, they're chanting, they're celebrating, they're all so happy to be there. And it's like, yeah, this is... this felt great. Hearing 5,000 or so fans singing Judas. Holy shit, we haven't heard that since March of last year. I mean, yes, we've heard 1,000 people, maybe a couple hundred people singing Judas, but for the first time since Salt Lake City last year, March the 11th, I believe it was the 11th. My birthday was, I think it was on the 11th. But yes, it felt so good. It felt so fucking good to have that crowd back, see a full crowd and everything. So, now that that's over with, let's talk about the pay-per-view itself. AEW presents Double or Nothing this Sunday from Daly's Place in TIA Bank Arena field for Double or Nothing 2020. We have 10 matches, 9 on the main card, and Serena Deeb will be defending her NWA Women's World title on the pre-show against Riho, which is, I believe, a rematch from the women's title eliminator going into Revolution, was it? Something like that? Yeah. So you had Serena Deeb versus Riho. This match, I don't see why Serena Deeb would lose her title to Riho to anybody not affiliated with the NWA. And I know unless Serena Deeb went and defended her title, Camille has a title match. She won a number one contenders match. Why not just have Camille come in and wrestle that match? How about that? So I'm going with Serena Deeb. Let's say so 2 things about the Casino Battle Royal. You got Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Penta Azul Miedo, Jungle Boy, Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, The Blade, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, Preston Ten Vance, Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Matt Caster, Anthony Bowens, QT Marshall, Mick Camarato, Dustin Rhodes, and Lee Johnson, and the to-be-determined wild card person. Now, the wild card person clearly has to be somebody not in the company right now. Because if they go with Paul White, who's going to be calling that match apparently, it'd be boring. It'd be like, really, if it was somebody else in the company, I can't think of off the top of my head, it would be pointless. So, I came up with 2 names. Andrade, because he's getting a match against Kenny Omega soon for the Mega Championship. So, why not put him in that match? Or, out of left field, Bryan Danielson. Could you imagine? WWE, it came out today that WWE has been in talks with New Japan about an exclusive partnership in the United States. And one of the crux apparently is Daniel Bryan wants to work for New Japan and WWE wants it to be done under their banner. Which tells you right there that nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen between those two teams probably. But could you imagine Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson coming to AEW, getting into that battle royal, being the 21st guy? Of course, everybody would expect him to win. Either the wild card person is the one that everyone expects to win. Everybody expects to win. Hangman Adam Page won it the first time when they had the wild card in the first one. And I think that's it. I think that's the only wild card who's won these battle royals. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Andrade or Bryan Danielson will be your 20. Or like I wish I could say Samoa Joe, but it's too early. It's way too early for his contract, which sucks. But yeah, so Bryan Danielson or Andrade, and I'm gonna go with Jungle Boy or who would be a good one against Kenny Omega? Jungle Boy or damn. I'm just got to go Jungle Boy. That's the only one I got to think of. Out of this group here, the only one that just screams off the page for me is Jungle Boy. So I'm going with Jungle Boy for the Concealed Battle Royal. Hangman Page versus Brian Cage. I'm going with Hangman Adam Page. It is a one-on-one match. Hangman lost the first time. It's time to, I guess, unless they don't want to do the 50-50 booking thing, I would probably say Brian Cage if you want to push. If Brian Cage is going to be a guy pushing up the ladder to eventually get to the top to face Kenny Omega, it's got to be Brian Cage. Miro over Lance Archer, no doubt about it. Should be a hoss fight. Sting and Darby Allin over Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. No other reason otherwise. The Faker Britt Baker versus Hikaru Shida. I want to see Britt Baker lose because she doesn't deserve to be in this spot. If you can't carry a fucking match against anybody, you don't deserve to be women's champion. I don't give a fuck how many fucking nobodies you've beaten on TV or on Dark Elevation. You haven't beat anybody, and you've had to be carried in every single fucking match you have had. So you don't deserve to be in the title picture. Shida for the win, even though they're probably going to give it to the Faker and kill the women's division. Young Bucks versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. This one, to me, feels like it's going to be Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Why would you not give them a run with the tag team titles? Kenny Omega over Orange Cassidy and Pac. That's a foregone conclusion. I don't think anybody expects anything otherwise. And then, what will probably be the main event, as it was last year, Stadium Stampede 2, The Pinnacle, MJF, Wardlow, Shawn Spears, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hardwood versus The Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. Well, with the beatdown that happened on the go-home show, with The Pinnacle taking the top right there, I don't see them ending this feud yet. Why would you break up the Inner Circle if you have more legs to stand? It's not like this feud has been going on for 6-7 months, maybe even a year, and it's time to break up the one team. No. I'm going with the Inner Circle. I see this going to All Out. Maybe they do one more blow-off match at All Out with other matches happening as the year goes on. So, Serena Deeb over Riho. Jungle Boy wins the Battle Royal with Andrade or Bryan Danielson Cody versus Anthony Ogogo. I really don't give a shit about that match. Cody Rhodes wins. Don't really give a shit. Serena Deeb over Riho, Kenny Omega over Cassidy and Pac, Shida over Britt Baker, over the Faker, Cody Rhodes over Anthony Ogogo, Jungle Boy wins the Battle Royal, Brian Cage over Hangman Page, Miro over Lance Archer, the Inner Circle over the Pinnacle, Sting and Darby Allin over Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and Jon Moxley over Eddie Kingston. That is all for this long review over 2 TV shows and predictions for the pay-per-view. Again, Riho over Serena Deeb over Riho, Kenny Omega over Orange Cassidy and Pac, Hikaru Shida over the Faker, Cody Rhodes over Anthony Ogogo, which nobody cares about that match. Jungle Boy wins the Battle Royal with Bryan Danielson or Andrade being the guy for the 21st. Brian Cage over Hangman Page, Miro over Lance Archer, The Inner Circle over the Pinnacle, Sting and Darby Allin over Scorpio Sky, and the Young Bucks will be losing the titles to Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. But that is all. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at The France Club, find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys on Sunday for Double or Nothing, the first pay-per-view in wrestling this year on this side of the Pacific with fans at full capacity. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.